Hello and welcome to the next episode of Peace Today. My name is Pieter Rambags, and in this podcast we talk to people who are active in the area of human rights. And therefore I'm very happy today to talk to Dana Mustafa, sitting next beside me, who's going to share her experiences with what happened with the march to Gaza. So welcome Dana.
Thank you so
in
much,
our studio at Peace Today. And before we elaborate about the journey you started on, maybe you can tell something about yourself, a little bit about your background and your connections that you have.
Thanks, Peter, for having me here. And I also want to thank Rita for arranging this for this podcast. My name is Dana Mustafa. I am a cancer researcher living and working here in the Netherlands for 20 years. And my blood is originally from Palestine. I was born in the diaspora. But actually, I usually like to say I'm a human being. And I'm not an activist or anything. I'm just a human being who practices her humanity.
Mm-hmm. And you have a connection with Artsen voor Gaza. Can you say something about that?
Yes. So Artsen voor Gaza, or Doctors for Gaza, it's a group of doctors who decided 20 months ago, almost 21 months ago, when the genocide started on Gaza, that this is not, what's going on is not acceptable for doctors. Mm-hmm. Doctors are there to save people's life. And there are rules and Geneva Convention that everybody agrees on, and they even have the oath when they graduate to save any life, no matter what the background is, no matter what the person did. So, well, as everyone knows, 21 months ago, the genocide started, and then we saw the attacks on doctors and civilians, and of course on hospitals, pretty much immediately on hospitals. And that is against all the laws. Mm-hmm. So they decided to come together and increase the awareness of this is against the law, and we should, as doctors, stand against that. Now, doctors in this terminology is a little bit broader. Mm-hmm. So it's not only medical doctors, because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a cancer researcher, so I have a PhD degree, and therefore the doctor title, but it's not about that. It's about any person who is in the profession of healthcare. Mm-hmm. Or who is connected to healthcare in one way or another, also administration people, or so in the board terminology of the healthcare. And I'm affiliated with them. We arrange protests, and we arrange poems, and we arrange education for what's going on, and increase the awareness of the disaster, especially against the healthcare system in Gaza and in the West Bank.
And then obviously it's a good question, I think, to ask, are you acquainted to doctors, medical personnel, nurses in Gaza?
I am acquainted, again, to human beings. I know the stories. It's easier for me to follow because the Arabic language, mm-hmm. But it's actually, it is for everyone to follow, because Gazians, like Palestinians, they speak English very well. Mm-hmm. And the stories are well known. So I know, if you want to know, there are plenty of stories that you can follow. So I know, for example, when the first time Israel wanted to attack a Shifa hospital, mm-hmm. That was the first announced attack against a hospital in Gaza. Shifa Hospital was established in 1939, so earlier than Israel was established. Mm-hmm. And yet they wanted to bomb it, and they did, with the claim that Hamas tunnels are underneath, and they couldn't prove it. They couldn't prove the claim after. Mm-hmm. Now I follow the stories, and I know how many hospitals they attacked afterwards, how many doctors they killed afterwards, how many civilians they killed afterwards, how they cut the electricity of the incubators on babies in the hospitals, so babies they die in the hospital. I mean, it is immense. It's unimaginable amount of stories, and intense. I mean, the intensity of these stories is unimaginable. And then you can take it for hospitals and doctors, healthcare workers, but also civilians, also mothers and fathers and grandparents and kids and babies and like name it. It's a war against Gazian people, against civilians.
Now, I did some research and I found out that Gaza has the size in the Netherlands of like the community of Apeldoorn.
Yes.
Now, Apeldoorn, the city, is small. There are some surroundings, like some neighboring lands, if you like, but still they are similar. And there are 2.1 million people living, where in Apeldoorn only 160,000 people are living. And I heard...
Sorry, Peter, 2.7.
2.7.
When the genocide started. Of course, now they became way less.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
Now, my question is this. Over time, I heard that they bombed so many hospitals. How is it possible that there are so many hospitals on such a small landside? Are these hospitals very small then? Do you have any information on that?
The specific information about how big the hospitals are and how many beds in the hospital, in each hospital is there. I don't have it. I don't have it right now with me. But usually hospitals and universities and therefore houses, number of places to practice religion, whatever the religion is. These things are associated with the number of people who are living in the location, not on the size of that specific area, right? And that is one of the struggle of the Palestinian people. Gaza, or I pronounce it Gaza because that's how we pronounce it. It's in English, you call it Gaza. Gaza was not the people who are living right now in Gaza are not originally all from Gaza. They are refugees from other cities who were attacked in Palestine before, and they were pushed toward Gaza. So even in the population of Gaza, we have refugees, and therefore we have the UNRWA there, because the UNRWA does not protect the indigenous people of Gaza. It protects and gives right to the people, to the refugees, the Palestinian refugees outside of their original place. But going back to the question of is it normal to have all of these number of hospitals, it's just because the need is there. And I can tell you that we know quite a lot about the hospitals, but we don't know, it's not there in the news a lot, about the medical centers. I'm in contact with people who are running few medical centers right now in Gaza. I try to support them as much as I can. But the people who are not injured or not affected by the genocide, they also have some health issues. We have diabetes, heart attacks, kidney failure, normal diseases that any population has, cancer, for example. And those people need also to follow up, need care. It's been already for 21 months. So they need somebody to follow them up, they need medication, they need the normal care that we give to people, right? So diabetic patients, you cannot say, oh, we have now genocide, so you are on hold until the genocide stops and then we see what we are going to do with you. And there are so many of these medical centers, small, and they of course suffer quite a lot because there is no aid, there is no medication, there is no support for them, and we try to support them at the individual basis basically. So we try to support them financially, but there is nothing in Gaza.
No. One of the frames that we hear a lot is that Hamas hides amongst the people. But if you have, like what you say, 2.7 million people in so many hospitals on such a small area, it makes sense. If you want to fight back, how are you going to do that?
That conflict about Hamas, I didn't know that our conversation will go there, but that conflict about Hamas, like, I don't know, all what I hear about it, there are I think at least 2 points I want to mention. To me, Hamas is a resisting group. As people under occupation, you have, by international law, you have the right to resist your occupiers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's not only justice, it's not only right, it's a must, it's an obligation when you under occupation, you have not only the rights, but you have the obligation to fight for your justice and for the justice of your kids. That's one. Second, there are several programs, because really I'm not a professional about Hamas, but there are several programs, podcasts as well, online on YouTube, people can find, in which doctors who voluntarily helped. So like we have a Dutch doctor who went to help Gaza. We have Abu Sitte, Sulaiman Abu Sitte, and his cousin, I think, no, his nephew, who went also to help in Gaza. There are the Norwegian doctor who went to help in Gaza. And all of them, they have testimony after they came back. And all of them have one like they agreed on one sentence. They said it in so many different words, but the essence, the principle is the same. In their help in these hospitals, whatever the hospital was, in Gaza, they never helped a Hamasian or a Hamasi fighter. The justice seekers of Hamas, they have their system of helping their people, their injured people. And we saw it several times on several videos that were revealed. For example, As-Sunwar. We saw with our own eyes that he wasn't in the hospital. And those people, when they got injured, they don't go to these normal hospitals the normal people are going to.
Okay.
And the third part about Hamas that I wish I will stop there, please, because again I hear a lot of conflict about Hamas. I just want to remind everyone that Nelson Mandela was called a terrorist at one point.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King was called a terrorist at one point. Even Yasser Arafat, who was the head of Fatah, which is another, like the other polar of the PLO, was called a terrorist at one point.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, we saw many terrorists become world-renowned leaders, and they are now adored for what they did and how they changed the world for their people.
Right, and therefore I like to go to the principle.
Yeah, exactly.
The principle is, when we are under occupation, we are obliged to resist that occupation.
And that's according to international law. Many people seem to forget that, but that's a right, a fundamental human right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the march to Gaza.
Yeah.
You wanted to participate. Well, actually, you participated. Can you start from the beginning? Where did you pick it up? How did you become aware? And did you also take part as part of Artsen voor Gaza or on your own behalf? Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So you remember in May we have the first Red Line protest.
Yeah.
Immediately after that, I get to know about the March to Gaza through one of my friends.
Okay.
She sent me the link and I participated. She was not able to join the meeting, so she asked few of her friends. She's also affiliated with Artsen voor Gaza to participate in the first meeting for March to Gaza. I didn't know anything about marching to Gaza at the time, and I participated in the online meeting. It was quite late at night, after 8 o'clock, and in the evening, and I heard for the first time that there is an idea of going to walk to Rafah. Rafah is the southern border of Gaza.
And then when you talk about Rafah, you talk about the Egyptian side,
Yes.
because you can't get in.
That's the Egyptian side of it. So the southern borders of Gaza, that's the Egyptian side. Now, I had the idea from the very beginning. I even told my mother in one conversation, like, there are billions ways, in my opinion, of resisting, and of solidarity. We are human beings, we are creative, we can be as creative as
Absolutely.
we want.
Yeah.
And my brain could not take that people are going under genocide. And we witnessed that because of the videos because of the social media, basically, because as you know, there are no journalists allowed in Gaza. I couldn't take it. Like, we just witness what's going on and we don't do things in our own hands. And I thought that the solution is to go there by millions, because then Israel will stop the genocide, not entering Gaza. Even if we are in the borders, then Israel will understand that the world is saying no to this genocide. Now, of course, that was wishful thinking, and it was a way of me thinking outside of the box. So when I first heard about the Global March to Gaza, I immediately thought, that's a fantastic idea. That's a way to stop the genocide. And from the very first meeting, we emphasized, the organizers emphasized several things. One is a very, very peaceful march. Two, we are obliged to follow the law. The law in that case of Egypt, because Egypt is our entry or our gate to that march. And then even if you go to the website of having visa in Egypt, they say very clearly that to enter Sinat, you have to have a permission. And the idea is we will fly to Cairo. Some people also took buses and so on, but that was not the part that I participated in. So we'll take flights to Cairo, and from Cairo we will go to an area called Al Arish. And Al Arish is at the border of Sinat, so you need a permission to go there. And then you need another permission to walk from Al Arish to the borders of Rafah, the Egyptian borders of Rafah.
And we're talking 47 kilometers here, isn't it?
But we talk between 47 and 50 kilometers, depending on the road that you are going to take.
It is a road well paved, I guess, there in the north, isn't it, next to the sea?
I've never walked there before. I've never entered that area. I asked the organizers.
Of course, yeah.
And they told me it's most probably it's going to be sand, but it is not completely sand because there is a trading road anyhow there. It's going to be, the marching was supposed to be in the desert, so they told me it's going to be 50 plus degrees. Yeah. And that is the most difficult part for me. But the idea is we will walk it in 3 days, because we are not going to walk in the middle of the day or something, and it's only after in the afternoon, and we are not going to march at night for our safety. So, and we will stay there. When we reach Rafah, we are going to stay at the southern border, so in Egypt part, we will camp. And we have several aims for that, but I have my aims, and the march has aims. So the first aim was to show solidarity for people in Gaza. We didn't leave them alone, because that's the most difficult feeling for them and for us, that we left them alone. The second one was to pressure our government, in this case, the Netherlands government. There is genocide going on, and we say no to it. Even if we walk in the desert at 50 degrees or above for 3 days and we camp there, we are willing to take these steps to tell the government, you need to stop this genocide. It's a man-made decision. It's a man-made disaster and can be stopped in 1 second. Absolutely. By man-made decision. I have 2 other personal aims. One, I wanted to show solidarity to the Dutch people who wished to participate in the march and were not able to, because not everyone is able to take that step. I didn't doubt. I heard about it and I immediately jumped. I'm going to go. But not everyone have my position and my feelings towards this march. So I want to show solidarity to the Dutch who are not able to join the march. And I thought at the same time that because I know some, before they closed the border, so I know a nurse from Gaza, Artsen for Gaza, so I'm connected to the nurse from Gaza who flee, or he was sent to Egypt in April last year. And he was treated, so he was attacked with an airstrike, and He was treated for his injuries. He was injured in his right side, but in both legs. And when I visited him in the hospital in Egypt in December. When I visited him, they were treating him heavily for his injury in his right leg. Unfortunately, in February, they amputated the leg.
The right leg.
The right leg. And I thought, okay, I can raise fund for him while I'm walking to give him an artificial leg. So these are the 4 aims.
The 4 aims that you had, yeah.
Two I share with everyone, and 2 more
personal related
journey.
and also linked more to your profession and Artsen voor Gaza.
Klopt.
And talking about the Dutch government, we had this huge demonstration here twice now, 100,000 people, 150,000 people drawing a red line. You going there, and you were not alone, we'll talk about it in a moment. You did an effort, and it had quite some impact. Our government still is not listening, or do you have the idea that something is changing, that they are?
I really wish that I would be able to look at you like right now and things are changing. Things are changing with the people. The people are seeing genocide for a long period of time, those who are willing to see and not look away. And we see solidarity with the Palestinians that we've never seen before. Please remember, this is more than 80, actually it's more than 100 plus years. But we know this conflict for 78 years now. And we never seen, I also talk to my uncles and people who are older than me, and we all agree that we never seen this solidarity before.
Absolutely.
But the government, which they have the power, and I literally believe that they have the power to stop it right now. The least they can do is to stop supporting Israel with weapons. But what we see is the support with weapon and with our money and our tax money is there. It continues. Even worse, they continue justifying what Israel is doing. And that is for me not acceptable.
Yeah, I also have the idea, the opinion, following everything that's happening and all the actions taking place, that the public opinion is shifting. Because the March to Gaza was one thing. Before that we had the Madeleine,
right,
which was also illegally taken by the Israeli offensive forces.
They kidnapped the people.
In
the international water.
Which is illegal. And I don't know, by the way, if you heard it, but today there was news that information leaked that maybe Europe is going to say, yeah, wait a minute, Israel violates the trade agreement we have because they are violating human rights. It's new on the news, but okay. That's
I've heard it.
You heard
I've
it
read
too?
it. Okay. I've read it. I didn't hear it. But the steps that what they are doing is not matching whatsoever.
No, it's not enough.
For the actions that we see from Israel. Before the Madeleine, that was the Conscious, and the Conscious was bombed, was attacked in the international water. It was in Malta. It was attacked in the European water. You see how close that is to us. We are not far away. And once we jeopardize human rights, we jeopardize it for everybody.
For everybody.
And we see it. We see the consequences of that.
Exactly. And that's what happened also with the people like you that went for the March for Gaza.
Absolutely.
Because you started at Schiphol. Can you tell me something about what happened there and how you felt?
Yeah. So I prepared for the March to Gaza. As I told you, when I heard about it, I immediately thought I never doubted that I'm going to participate.
What feeling did you have when you heard about this initiative? What did it tell you? What happened to you?
Hope. Maybe I'm a person who likes to act, so I was able to. I felt like I am now going to act, and I couldn't but imagine my friends and the people who I know I'm in contact with in Gaza. Because I try to give solidarity in so many different ways, in the ways that I'm capable of giving them. And part of that is by keeping contact with people in Gaza, to know they go on, to support them sometimes on a daily basis and so on. And I told them, I'm coming, and we will be in the border, but not only me. there will be between 4,000 and 10,000 people at the border. And
are you talking Dutch people or international?
No, I'm talking international. It's the global. So it's global marching to Gaza. So there were people from. We started by 25 different countries, and I think we reached 36 different countries that participated in the global march to Gaza. And I told my friends in Gaza, when we are thousands of people at the border, you will hear us shouting your name. So a friend, I never met him, but I contact him almost on daily basis. Say, Rami, wait, hear me. We are going to shout your name.
Okay, wonderful.
And that's all what I could imagine. I only imagined myself walking in the desert, reaching the southern borders of Rafah, and camping there, calling for their names, putting pressure, like messaging, filming, putting pressure on our government. In my brain, in my imagination, I was thinking, like, how can we draw the attention of the media and so on, so we make the pressure bigger and so on. So we prepared. I mean, you start then preparing. Mentally, I didn't need to prepare. I couldn't wait. Physically, I start buying stuff that I will need. So UV protection shirts and UV protection, creams and so on, sun protection, and then a tent to camp there and so on.
So you brought a tent with you?
Yes, okay. Yeah, I did. And then legally or logistically, we were in contact with the organizers, and several times I asked if they contacted the embassy here, the Egyptian embassy in the Netherlands, and the other way around, because we decided from the beginning, the organizers decided that we are going to do everything in open. We are not going to be confidential about it. No, okay. Because then we will be accused of having weapon and having aid and pushing or jeopardizing the law, and that's not our aim. It's a peaceful movement. We respect the law, and we wanted to continue in this way, in the open, respecting the law and everything. So there were a lot of logistics that you could follow, right? And then also in the preparation to march to Gaza, I decided that I'm not a social media person, but I decided that I have to have a TikTok channel so I can go live with people, and I consulted a good friend who can help me to do that, which is you. And then I also had an Instagram account. I never had an Instagram account. I only prepared those in order to show the people who are left behind in the Netherlands how we are going to march to Gaza, and to support Tamer for his artificial leg. Then I couldn't wait. I really couldn't. I was counting days when that day is going to arrive, like a little child who really wanted this very, very badly. We went to Schiphol, and a lot of pro-human people were there.
Yeah. By the way, when you say we went to Schiphol, were you already with several people, or were you still on your own up until that moment?
I traveled by myself. I always travel by myself. But of course, people who participated in the March to Gaza, we started to get to know each other.
So you already met some people on forehand.
I met some people at Schiphol, right? But we were going in the same trip and so on. So it was a group of travelers, a group of participants in the global March to Gaza from the Netherlands. And even though I didn't know any one of them beforehand, but I met them at the airport, and we shared the same aim. So also at the airport, they chanted, and we were. For me, I wouldn't say I was happy. I was hopeful, and I was super energetic. Even a friend of mine interviewed me, and she said, "Dana, why you are going there?" I said, we are going there to stop the genocide.
Exactly, yeah.
Because the government is not stopping it, so we want to stop it. And that's the aim. And then we traveled. We had a stop in a transit in Istanbul. We continued. And by the time we arrived to Cairo airport, some people had the visa online. I did not. I bought my own visa from upon entry. And it was the authority tried to delay our entry to Cairo as much as they could. So, you go to the officer, it was a lady, and then she checked your information, so on. The automatic thing is it's supposed to stamp your passport with entry. And instead she was saying, okay, go to that office. The office is closed, or there is no officer in the office. And then you start following the officers, like what we are supposed to do right now. So they delayed our entry for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, something like that.
Okay.
But then I was guaranteed the entry. I mean, my passport was stamped and I was allowed in. So I collected my luggage.
How could they separate the people for the march from ordinary people going there for holidays or work or whatever, or going back for family?
Or
were they indiscriminate?
We need to ask them. I don't think the criteria was very clear because some of us, I was not able to enter, but some of our delegation was able to enter.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was among the people who were not able to enter. I think I really, until now, I cannot figure out the criteria.
Okay.
Nothing makes sense to me. But nevertheless, I mean, I was given the entry permit, and I collected my luggage. I even ordered my Uber. And on my way out of the airport, another officer asked me to check my entry stamp. So I gave him my passport. That's automatic, right? So at the airport. And then instead of giving it back to me, he took it. He put it in his jacket, the inner pocket of his jacket.
Your passport.
My passport. So my passport doesn't belong to him. That's illegal what he did.
That's not okay. No.
I said, it's my passport. And he said, oh, first check your luggage. So I put my luggage on the X-ray, and then it was a personal check for my luggage. Before even just to put my luggage on the table where they are going to check it, I was surrounded automatically by military. Before I opened my luggage.
And do you know how many military were standing around you?
I didn't count them, but I would say something between 6, 7 military people with, military soldiers.
And how did you feel at that moment?
I was like, what's going on?
Were you scared? Were you intimidated? Were you angry?
I keep thinking about how did I feel. It is, of course, not a normal, it's not a thing that I am used to. So was I scared? Probably. I was also like in shock. What's going on? Why they are dealing with us this way? I was by myself. Why they are dealing with me in this way? They opened my luggage and they basically didn't find anything. I had a camping gear with me, but no question was asked, nothing. They asked me to close my luggage. I did, and I was asking for my passport. And they said, oh, you will take it from the other officer. Go behind the desk. So they point at a place where I have to go to take my passport. And I followed. But then I was surprised finding people that I get to know during the trip, that they had the same treatment. And then I was surprised to know that some of them, I get to know that afterwards, some of them were questioned, some of them were detained.
Detained, as in
detained.
Incarcerated, put in a prison?
No, they took them to an office, at least the people who I spoke to that day. They took them to an office with several officers, and they asked them, why do they have a camping gear with them? That wasn't my case. No one spoke a word to me. Or some people were checked by their mobile, so they ask you to handle your mobile, and they will go through your WhatsApp and your Signal and your photos, because we were not allowed to make any photos at the airport or videos or anything like that. And they will delete whatever they want from your mobile.
Okay.
Some people were detained for longer period of time. I know personally some people who were in prison for 3-4 days.
Oh yeah, and whatever nationality, Dutch
Doesn't
people,
matter.
German, French.
Doesn't matter. Europeans.
Tunisian,
Let's call European.
Europeans. Yeah.
European passports. Also Arabic passports.
Arabic, of course.
Of course, that's easier.
And do you know anything of prosecution? Were they charged with something or so?
I don't know anybody who was charged with, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. But I personally don't know anybody who was charged with anything.
And how long took this all? This whole.
Well,
happening?
after they took our passports, so it was a group of passports in the officer's hand, and he never allowed us to take them back. So he will call your name just to appoint you, go, and they were talking to us in a very, very bad language, like ordering, like go, go, go. Even a lady told the officer, a commander, it's not an officer, it's a commander. He's with a military level. How do we call them? I mean, commanders, I think. Yeah. She said, why you are talking to us like that? Just tell us where to go and we will go. You don't need to shout at us. We were back to the entry saal. And then another commander came and he said, we arranged a bus for you. We are going to take you back to the airplane that you came. We will send you back to Istanbul, because our transit was in Istanbul. And people said, why? Why you are doing this? You give us an entry stamp. Yeah. So, and we are here legal. So can you explain why you are dealing with us this way? And no answer was given. The answer was, you either go to the bus or we'll start beating you.
That's what they said. We will start beating you.
That's the answer. We will start beating you. So people said, okay, beat us.
Oh yes, people said that? Okay.
We are not going to leave without an explanation. Just explain to us why we are supposed to leave. And why we are supposed to leave without a boarding pass and without an exit an exit stamp. So,
which could cause problems in Turkey again. If you
of course, of course, it still will cause problems.
And you were there several hours. What about food, drinks,
nothing,
sanitary services? Or?
Nothing. People. That's also what's the requirement from people. That's what I think we were about 50 from the Dutch delegation. I think I didn't count the people, but I think between 40 and 50
from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. So people resisted. And they said, we are not going to leave without explanation. But what they did is it was an act. So one commander will go and another one will enter. Like the person who said we will beat you, another person comes and he says, I only want your benefit. You are not welcome. An officer looked at my eyes and he said, you are not welcome in Egypt. Our country, and we decide whom we want in and whom we don't allow in without reason. It's not my responsibility to give you reasons. Another person will come and he will say, oh, I'm only arranging your travel safely to Istanbul. So they kept changing the faces. But when people resisted even more, they start hitting them. They literally hit them.
They hit people, and they also hit Dutch people.
The Dutch delegation are Dutch people.
Because we don't hear about that in the
They hit
news
the
media.
Dutch people. I saw with my own eyes a Dutch person who was carried like a bag from the hands and from the feet and from all directions, and one thrown next to the bus. I saw, and I have videos of people were hit.
So you still have evidence of what happened to these people?
Absolutely. They sent us, after a long discussion, they sent us to the airplane with a bus full of soldiers, full of military people, to ensure that we are going to go to the airplane.
That's pretty intimidating.
Very. I have evidence of a lady who was hit nearby her eye.
By the military?
By the military,
Egypt.
yeah.
Okay.
They cursed. They used bad language. They also
you
cursed
speak
Palestine.
Arabic, so you could understand what they were saying?
They cursed in English and Arabic. They were speaking to us in English and in Arabic. Even one of the commanders, he came to me and he said, because I was born in Kuwait, so he thought that I'm Kuwaitian. I said, I'm not Kuwaitian. He asked me if I'm Kuwaitian. I said, I'm not. He said, oh, so what is your nationality? I said, Dutch. I'm Dutch. Yeah, but you speak Arabic, because I'm telling the truth. So he said, but you speak Arabic. I said, yeah, I do speak Arabic. Help us to convince the people, our delegation, to leave the airport.
So he wanted to make you complicit even in the return of
I said,
people who don't want to leave.
I'm going to help you? Absolutely not. I'm not going to help you. For something like, for no explanation whatsoever. We were pushed in the airplane. Up till that point, we didn't have our passports. We didn't have, until now, they didn't give us our passport. They took photocopies, I don't know how many, of our passports. 97 people were in that airplane. From the Dutch delegation, from the Turkish delegation, Venezuela, and some from Colombia.
Okay.
And just like that, no food. People asked that it was very hot. As you can imagine, Egypt in the summer.
Yeah.
There is no place to buy water whatsoever at the entry salle of that we were in. People said they are thirsty. They said you will have food and water in the airplane. We had to ask permission for those who wanted to use the toilet. They had to ask the permission, not from the soldiers. They were not allowed to give us any permission, from the commanders. For those who wants to use the toilet, to go to accompany them to use the toilet. We were treated like criminals. And until today, I have no explanation for what happened. And that's for the people who were pushed away or they were not allowed to enter Cairo. Some of us were able to enter Cairo. And the deal was, or the idea, the plan was that we are going to arrange, like with permission, we will go to Al Arish in big buses. That didn't take place.
No.
They had to be separated into small groups. And they, instead of Al Arish, they went to Al Ismailiyah. I know these names, they don't make a lot of sense to if you don't know the place, but it is literally 5 kilometers in the highway from Cairo to Ismailiyah. And the first checkpoint was there, again with military, and people either were returned, like, okay, you are not Egyptian, you are not going to continue, so back, or they were detained. Some people were detained to the airport immediately without even being able to collect their luggage. Some people were attacked in the hotels that they reserved to be collected and to be sent back. I'm not exaggerating, that really happened. And not only with Dutch delegation, that happened also with other people, with other delegations, like Turkish for sure, Spanish for sure, Italian for sure. And I know personally one of the organizers, he was detained for a few days, and then finally they released him by like putting him in an airplane to Italy.
We've seen images of that, people returning, coming home safely, luckily at the end.
Yeah.
You also told me something about people that were left out in the open, in the burning sun, for several hours.
Yeah, so that is in Al Ismailiyah when they went. So if they are not returned immediately, some people tried to cross the checkpoint to Al Ismailiyah. So for that, they take their passports because you cannot enter without they give you their permission. Again, they collected the passports and they left people, no shade, nothing. They left people in the burning sun for 4 to 5 hours before they gave them their passports back and to order them to go back. I have a video from a lady, a Western lady, I don't know her nationality, I don't know her personally. I saw her video, she was filming from the bus. And she said that all of a sudden they attacked us for no reason, we didn't do anything. And she had to, even filming that was not allowed. Just like for us, when I was at the airport, I was not allowed to document anything. No film, no. Otherwise, they will take your mobile. We did, of course. I mean, we because no one
I
can
saw one of your
prevent
videos
us.
where a lot of soldiers were approaching you, I know.
Yeah,
But these are all very serious human rights violations, and I believe that journalists should dive more deeply into this.
right.
And also show this to our government, to tell them and to show them how our people are being treated.
Yeah, I wish.
Peaceful people wanted to make a positive change.
I really wish. I mean, this is an invitation for any journalist.
Of course.
I can also connect them to other people. It doesn't need to
So
be
that's
me.
what I wanted to ask. You're willing to talk to people, to journalists maybe, and to elaborate on this with them and,
I am
and
willing.
provide material that you have?
I am willing to provide all the material that I have. I'm willing also to connect them to other people from the Dutch delegation who are willing to talk to journalists after asking their permission. I also give my testimony to Al Jazeera, for example, in Arabic, and they are going to. It's going to be revealed tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think it's extremely important to talk about this, about our experience, about what happened with us. And you know, Peter, the irony, this is something I really want to mention. When you enter the airport of Egypt, I speak Arabic, I read Arabic, it's my mother language.
Mm-hmm.
At the entrance, entrance at the gate, they have a phrase from Al Quran, the Holy Book, and it says literally, enter Egypt in peace.
How ironic.
And very much. And then when you take the pictures, when you take the videos from the bus, you are outside, and then you see all of that violence, all of that assault for people. Also the physical, not only the emotional one, emotional and physical, hitting and carrying people away and pushing them
That
away.
has nothing to do with peace.
And then the above is enter Egypt in peace and safety. We didn't enter in peace for sure, and we didn't have any safety over there, any safety measure over there. That's really irony. Huh?
I would like to finalize with one topic that we touched slightly, is the nurse. You are doing crowdfunding still, because it was one of your aims going to Rafah. We still have a couple minutes left. Can you elaborate on that, what your aim is there, what you want to achieve?
So the first name of the nurse is Tamer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't reveal all of his information to protect him. That is the most important for me, because his safety is important. And Tamer unfortunately lost his right leg from way above the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Tamer is 39 years old, and he was attacked while he was doing his job. So he always, as a nurse, he always helped people. And I think together we can help Tamer to walk again, so he can continue his life and start establishing hopefully a new family, because I think he lost his family in the attack as well. He had 2 daughters, and he can continue building in his future, and his resilient and his resistant as well. For that we need to give him an artificial leg, a good quality artificial leg, and therefore I have the fundraising for him. It's in my TikTok page, which called Dana_March to Gaza, or in Instagram, Dana March to Gaza. I also, after asking his permission, when I feel like he is safe, I can publish the videos. So we took the first measurement for his leg, and he was super happy to know that some people are going to support his artificial leg, and it's so close because we took the measurement. So we already paid for the 1/3 of the total cost, and I am trying with the help of all the donors to collect the other third, and to finalize this for him. It can be very quickly. It can be finished in a couple of weeks, and then he can walk. The first week he's going to walk with an assistant, and then second week he's going to walk with 2 sticks third week with one stick only, and then fourth week he's going to be independent, using his artificial leg. That is the deal. And I have all of these evidence. I have a video from him and so on. So I can provide all of this for people just again after we finish.
Maybe you can share that on your TikTok account. And I would definitely invite people to start following you, because I'm following you. And,
Thank you.
And by the way, I was amazed with your success, because at some moment I saw that one of your videos had 1.1 million views, which always TikTok keeps amazing me. But I promise you that we put the links also under this video, under this podcast.
Thank you.
You have 2 payment links that people can donate. One is a Gofundme, one is a direct payment link to a bank account. And I surely wish that you will succeed in raising the funds that you need, so Tamir can walk again and can do his work for the people of Gaza in the future again.
Peter, if you allow me, there are so many different ways of showing solidarity. And by supporting relatively small thing like an artificial leg for a nurse is one way of showing solidarity. The need in Gaza is immense. Also, the daily need in Gaza is huge. That's another way of showing solidarity. Talking about people in Gaza, not forgetting them. Gaza is starving. It's made to starve. Gaza is hungry, is thirsty, is made sick. Baby formula run out of Gaza. So there are, I don't know how many thousands, I think 16,000 babies in Gaza.
In danger at the moment.
Absolutely, and we've been saying that for more than a week. Like the baby formula, we've been saying that for 21 months already. But in the last 3 months, where they blocked completely any aid from entering to Gaza, the situation is horrible. That starvation is something I cannot take. Killing people is something, but deprive them of their dignity. So they run to the aid that they say they arranged,
and
then
shot at
attack them.
Again. It happened overnight.
The shot is in the head and in the chest. So it's deadly shots for people. That is something I really cannot go over. I cannot take. My brain cannot adjust that. So I really would like to end in a positive note. We will resist. We always will resist. Resistance is a spring. You push it down, you bounce up. The global march to Gaza is not going to be the last one. Medellin, before that, the conscious, they are arranging now for another ship.
A bigger one, yeah.
We are together in this.
We are many.
Our humanity, this is the core of our humanity. And we won't stop. We won't stop unless the Palestinians are brought to justice.
Are free. You're absolutely right. And by the way, I see it all around me. I've never seen so much resistance throughout the whole world. So much people working hard for the Palestinian cause. Yeah. And that's hopeful. So let's stick to that.
Let's stick to the hopeful note, yes.
Thank you very much, Dana.
And the free
And I wish you good luck with the crowdfunding.
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope to see you walk from Al Arish to Rafah soon. And we'll broadcast it through TikTok.
I promise. I promise that I will
show
be
it to the
live
world.
and show it to
We're gonna show it to
everyone
the
who
world.
wants to see it
Wonderful.
many times.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter.